Hello again. This video will show you how to create a study in the new Sona system. So the first thing you want to do is go to umain.sona-systems.com and there you can log in. When you log in, you'll see the main page. So there are a lot of things that you can do here on this main page, but the first thing that we want to do, since we don't have any studies yet, is to add a new study. So we'll click Add a New Study. And the first thing it'll do is ask you to select a study type. You can either do a standard study where people will come into a lab, you can do an online study through Qualtrics or through SurveyMonkey, or you can also do a two-part standard study. So this is where participants are going to show up one time in the lab and then need to come back for a second time. For now, I'll just pick a standard lab study. This is the form that you will fill out in order to create a study. So the first thing that you need to do is to give the study a name. So we'll just call this Demo Study. You may give the study a brief abstract. These are obviously the recruitment materials that would have been approved in your IRB proposal. The brief abstract will be short. It's what participants will see right next to the study title when they look at it. So in this description, you can give details about what participants will be asked to do. On the next line, you have eligibility requirements, and here's where you can restrict participation so that participants know not to sign up if they don't meet some criteria. So maybe I want males only for my study, or only freshmen, but there are other ways to restrict eligibility below. Duration here defaults to 60 minutes. You can change that so participants know how long they're signing up for. You can change the number of credits that the study is worth here. Remember that roughly 1 credit equals about an hour. You can also have the option to pay participants through the system. In the preparation box here, you can tell participants what they need to do before they show up. So often for some of my studies, I'll have participants complete an online survey before they come to the lab. So here I might write that you must complete the online study at the link below in order to participate. In this box, you have the opportunity to choose researchers. You can see that the researcher creating the study is already highlighted. But I can also add other researchers, for instance, graduate students who will be working on the project. Having multiple researchers on the project means that those researcher accounts can also see the study, see sessions that are scheduled, and be scheduled for sessions for that study. So I encourage you to add all the researchers that might be working on the project to each proposal. In this section, you'll provide your IRB approval code, whatever it might be. You'll give the expiration date for that IRB proposal. And then here you'll indicate whether you want the study to be active or just archived. So usually this is going to be yes. You can click Add This Study here, but below you have some advanced settings that I want to mention that might be useful. So you can require some prerequisites. So potentially participants may need to have participated in a previous study before they can see this study or sign up for this study. Most often, though, people may want to disqualify participants from participating in a subsequent study if they've already done one before. For instance, if you use the same social manipulation in multiple studies, you may not have naive participants. So using this, you can block participants from participating in subsequent studies if they've already experienced a protocol. Down here, you can restrict participants to be from a particular course. So let's say you only wanted Psych 100 participants. Down here you can click only Psych 100, and thus only students enrolled in Psych 100 can participate in that study. There are some other options here that you can take a close look at yourself about how often or how close to the deadline participants can sign up, how close they can cancel, whether or not you want to receive emails, whether or not you want to schedule researchers at the time slot level, how frequently you want to grant credit automatically, and then here you can share some comments with other researchers or leave comments for yourself. Once you're done with all of these options, click Add This Study. You'll get a note that the study was added. You'll be able to see the study information, but you won't yet be able to do anything with the study. Studies must be approved. So you can see through at the study status right here, it says not visible to participants because it's not approved. You do want to click this button, which will send a request to the Sona administrator to review and approve the study. If you haven't heard from them within a couple of days after sending the request, go ahead and click that button again. It'll send another email and they'll take a look at it. Once you're done with that, you can go back to My Studies. You'll see that the demo study is there. The brief abstract is listed here. You can see all the details there. But you'll notice that it's not approved. Once it's approved, you'll receive an email and you'll receive a green check mark here. Once the study's approved, you can begin adding time slots. You click here on the time slot listing. This will show you any time slots that you have scheduled. But in order to add time slots, you'll click on Add a Time Slot. And you'll be able to add time slots any time that you like and list specific locations. So let's say I wanted to collect data at the end of this month. I can list the date is August 31st. I can put the start time, it's going to be a 9 o'clock session. The end time is set by the study description, right? Because I'd already told them it was going to take about an hour. I can only do one participant at a time, but if I wanted to do more, I could add them here. I can list a specific location, and I can also pick a researcher that's associated with the study. So since Ellen's also listed on this study, I can choose Ellen if I want, and that will list her as the researcher for that time slot. She'll get emails about it, etc. For right now, I'll leave it as me. And I can hit Add this time slot. And you'll see that the time slot is added. So now, when I view all time slots, I see I have one here, it's open, and when a participant signs up, you'll be able to see the participant here, be able to contact that participant if necessary, and do a variety of other things. I want to also mention that you can add multiple time slots. So I can add, for instance, 10 time slots at a time on August 31st, starting at 10 a.m. I don't want any time between those time slots, and we'll just run them all outside of business hours, one participant per slot. And then I can also, when I add all of those time slots, I can then copy from week to week. So let's say you run the same schedule week to week to week. It's very easy to add all those time slots, build out one week, and then copy them from week to week. You can see I'm batch adding these. They start an hour after another, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 p.m. And I can add all of those time slots simultaneously. Let's say that I found out my participant wouldn't be able to be there, or my researcher wouldn't be able to be there at 5 o'clock that day. I can just hit no, and it'll add all the rest of these. You can see all those time slots appear here. Now that you have those time slots and you have a study, you're ready to collect data. Participants will be able to view those studies, sign up for those time slots, and begin to show up here so you can see when you have participants scheduled. If you have any questions, feel free to email the admin account. It's listed down here, sona.admin@umit.maine.edu, and I will try to help.